let's go. The X3, well, it's been there quite a while on this generation, but with a facelift, new front grille here, vertical fins, really strong styling. This also has the M Sport package. So we have the black accentuation in the low part and a stronger intake right here. Both have LED specs. You can get different LED specs, and interesting how they have totally different signatures here for the LED. The GLC also in the comparable AMG line today. That means also sporty air intakes right here, and it now also comes with this micro star pattern, a really beautiful feature. With 4.72 m or 186 inches, the new GLC has grown a little bit if you compare it to the predecessor, and now it's basically at the same length like the BMW X3, just a centimeter difference. And the design language is completely different here, especially the GLC, more this round shape here overall. Interesting sidestep. They not only look cool, but also serve aerodynamics, but you might get you know, trousers dirty or something when they are dirty as well. 19-inch wheels, winter tires, comparable also to 19-inch wheels, winter tires for the BMW. We also have painted wheel arches in the vehicle color, both white here today, a great comparison for sure. M Sport Pack means M badge here, and here also this, this breather element, because in this case it's not a real air breather, just a design element. And then we have here also black around the windows, and you can see the difference in design language once again, where you have more curved in, more angular features with the X3. The question is, which one do you prefer? In the rear we can see big design differences. Here with the GLC, more this round shape raindrop design, I would call it. New style for tail lamps, and in lower part, Autogefuehl fake exhaust police alert, because these are clearly just visual tips. With the X3, a more rectangular design, a sportier approach. With the recent facelift, also new tail lamp design here. This is a very cool thing, and really always tells you, hey, this is an X3 that you can also distinguish it against the smaller brother, the X1 or something. Isn't it funny that in the key fob comparison here, the Mercedes, again, all the way round, central shape, and the BMW more angular shape. So the design on the exterior is also reflected in the key fobs. I like that actually. Here, Mercedes dog-trotting sound, actually quite solid. And then inside of the doors in the new generation, it's all about the looks definitely. Therefore very sleek and also clean. The Mercedes interior is more really about look. Here, what we got, more this wow effect. Seating position here in the GLC, I would say it is fairly comfortable, yes, but I wouldn't say it's ideal for tall people. So I think the seat ergonomics is not top of the game. So when you're tall, you feel like sitting more on the seat than in the seat. However, just the cockpit around you, that is more caging you in actually. So not too much space above your head. It's okay with 189 or 6'2". But overall, seat ergonomics, I think the GLC will not win today. You won't get back pain or something, but I think Mercedes has to work on the ergonomics. Interior setup with the Mercedes here, everything very central with these round lines. Nice wood insert, but a lot of high gloss black here. But I really like the air vents as for the illumination. But here, that's again seen it with the C-Class. It's not straight, they're not like, they should be like this. But yeah, build quality wise here on the inside, just these knobs, not that ideal. And the temperature is always controlled in the screen right here. Yeah, so no real dials as for that. But it has also here a lot more interesting features. Here, for example, in this off-road view, we can also go to this off-road camera, and then you have a see-through bonnet. The image is being built up, and now I can see what's going on underneath, not with the live feed. The live feed is around. The feed underneath is then basically built up by the live feed before, and then I can exactly see what's underneath. So that's a very cool feature. Here once again close up how I control the temperature and the main infotainment system. This is the map. It's somewhat also responsive, yes. And then you can go to the main menu like this. Good overview actually, and the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto is also then available as the wireless. Only thing that is cool here with the vents, you have this feature that the air vents turn red or blue depending on the color changes. Digital instruments, where we can also see the consumption, 9 liters, 100 kilometers for the GLC, 26 mpg US, 31 mpg UK there would be. And then here we can also, for example, have full screen GPS map, car internally though, or for example, this great off-road gauge This is, yeah, the most fancy one for sure. And you also get a head-up display. How does it work? On the steering wheel, you slide here, for example, for the volume. It looks clean and fancy, but for controlling it, always better to have a feedback. There is some kind of feedback when you press this here, but you see here is like one button fits it all, basically. So one button, but then different capacitive areas. This middle console here is full of high gloss black, so yeah, not my favorite one. Underneath you have cup holders. They are not that much securing the bottles though. Then I here, for example, have a cable connected, because in the front you have two USB-C chargers. And I always like this split opening here for the armrest with more charging underneath. Now to the rear. Same design here. Of course, inside of the door is also interesting, because they use a lot of, also here like leather material, soft touch everything, and looks cool from the ambient light integration. Legroom, however, when I'm driving here as a tall person, barely fits actually, so not that much legroom. It works with the recess here, and headroom is actually no problem. It's decently comfortable, but also kind of stiff from the seats. Looking forward to the comparison to the X3. And in the middle part, you can also sit, but very limited also as for the leg. Switching to the BMW, door closing sound. Also solid. Maybe a little bit better probably. Then inside of the doors, also soft touch material, also clean design and so on. Here is real haptic feedback for the seat control directly at the seat actually, and the seat itself also available now here. Well, it's a standard thing, perforated sensor tech, and this is also with breathability, great quality, and also animal free. This one also the M Sport steering wheel here. Steering heating control is right here. With the GLC you have to use the voice command, or it's just combined with the seat heating actually. Seating position, somewhat comparable. I feel that the BMW X3 gives you a little bit more SUV driving position, and the GLC, that's more or less more crossover-ish. Here you also have a little bit more space with the middle console, and the seat itself, you sit a little bit more in the seat actually, so maybe a little bit better. But overall, I think maybe like a slight, but just maybe a tiny advantage here for the BMW X3 from the position. And well, headroom, hardly comparable here, because this one is not equipped with panoramic roof, and then we have a lot more space, but you can also get one for that. Interior overview here with the X3. Well, you feel it's not as sensual, not that modern, not like, oh, screaming out, wow, look at that, like in the Mercedes GLC. This one more drawn back, more conservative, nice brushed aluminum. Since the facelift, you also have a bigger screen here in 12.3 inch, but here difference is with the GLC we had this huge vertical one, here the more horizontal approach, so really large difference indeed. The question is, what is better? What I do prefer in a way is to have a manual climate knob still with some haptic feedback and some interaction with the vehicle. As for the infotainment system here, the map is also somewhat responsive, and this is the CarPlay integration. Also, once again, via touch, or also control it from below. Car internal map then on the middle part. In this OS 7 generation, not yet possible with CarPlay and Android Auto maps. So you see here, it is more simple, and you don't have so many possibilities like with the Mercedes. Steering wheel buttons, to me, cooler here with the BMW, because you can really press them. They're individual single buttons. Yeah, I mean here, the manual climate unit. It's cool to have it, isn't it? Yeah, also here the volume knob, good to have a separate manual one still. And sound systems, here the Harman Kardon in the BMW versus the GLC sound from Burmester. The thing is, here the Harman Kardon to me, a little bit more low frequency bass intensive, also good in the surround sound, and the Burmester maybe has a little bit more clearness. So hard to say which one is better. The thing is really more what you prefer. Lower part right here, this can get stuck here at the beginning a little bit, so don't like it that much. But the cup holders are actually better with BMW. They hold bottles a little bit tighter. Inductive charging pad, you'll need this. You can also connect via cable, but the thing is that the CarPlay or Android Auto connection is always wireless. And with the BMW, you still get a real shifting lever in the lower area. Some do definitely prefer that. And here, this is then this control knob there. Another possibility for the infotainment system, I think it's good to have it, especially while driving. And then we have this armrest here, also very well built, with more space underneath. Also nice build quality here in the rear with soft touch materials, this leather red covering, Sensación covering for the rear seat doors, and here with this brushed aluminum look. Wow, really cool actually. And then also the seat bench with the perforated Sensación. So yeah, looks like a good build quality, a little bit more conservative in the styling. It's also the comparable older vehicle. As for the legroom, when I'm driving, you see also not too much space. The recess also works. So yeah, both don't have too much legroom here, I have to say. Here it would also be, I compared the GLC with the internal brother GLB, which had more space on the interior, although it's same size. The X1 is smaller than this one here, but has basically the same or maybe even a little bit more legroom. It always has to do with the packaging, and these bigger vehicles, they usually have longer hood and so on. Headroom, no problem at all, but this one again also without the panoramic roof. I can't say that any of these here has a big advantage in the rear. Middle seating, yeah, it's also a little bit cramped as for the legs, but then it's a little bit softer here. So both work for 4 tall adults, 5 just on short tracks, but no clear winner as for the rear. Now the trunk comparison, both used to be at 550 liters in capacity. The GLC now topped up 50 liters and is now a little bit larger, so 600 liters. And what about the concise thing? So here we have the slider rails on the side. Below here, by the way, a lot of space still. Look at that. Then when we switch it over to the X3, you maybe remember the height with the GLC. A little bit more height for the X3, but a little bit more length for the GLC. Overall, both are very well usable. This seems to be here more, a little bit more square, especially the opening. As for the engines, main difference is that for the X3 you can get 6-cylinder petrol and diesel engines. However, this is the 4-cylinder engine, also a very big bestseller here, the 30i as rear drive or as xDrive here with the all-wheel drive, rear wheel bias. 245 horsepower, at least in the EU spec. 258 horsepower for the 2-liter 4-cylinder in the GLC. GLC 300 also available as rear drive or all-wheel drive. Sports mode, let's go. 130. 150. Slowly approaching 200. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And almost the plop. 200 kilometers an hour, 125 miles an hour. That's enough here for now. Wind noise is actually quite okay considering this high speed. And here also with the air suspension in sports mode, it's giving me more feedback. And wow, it's surprising how upright this car is staying. So it more feels like a sedan to drive indeed. Yes, of course, put up, but really stable indeed. And that shows also this air suspension is indeed not set on a very soft note. It's rather set on a stiff note. It's still comfortable, yes, but especially in the sport mode, it rather should enable you sporty driving indeed. For more comfort, we go back here to the comfort mode in the drive select. You do not have to hit it on the screen. You can also like scroll through left and right. So that's at least possible. Responsiveness could be a little bit better. Here in the comfort mode now, comfort is definitely fine as for suspension. Here now in the tunnel, look at that ambient lighting. I mean, this is like night riding here now. Here, there, 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 there. Is it too much for you or do you love it? Just tell me in the comments. So I really find it very, very cool. Why not? Sport mode and as shifting mode from 50 kilometers an hour. Let's go. $150. 190. Okay, now it's also slowing up. And 200 kilometers an hour. Start a little bit earlier the acceleration. Here also lane changes at high speeds. very well done, really stable. Also not too much wind noises considering the high speed, definitely. So also very well done. It feels also calm and collected, definitely. And the adaptive suspension here at higher speeds is more comparable than with lower speeds. That's very interesting. Here also, once again, lane change at high speed. Very good feeling for the vehicle. And here in the tunnel, there is some ambient lighting inside of the doors and also here towards the side area. Looking also quite cool, also in the lower middle console here. But definitely that ambient lighting of the Mercedes is no match for that here when you're driving tunnel. For some it's too much, some rather prefer it subtle, but yeah, some find it also cool. Which one would you take home? Tell me in the comments and also tune in to more comparison episodes.